What kind of snowflake is Donald Trump that he's willing to send hundreds and hundreds of other people to go and do his battle and to attack police officers with Trump flags and Confederate battle flags and turn American flags into weapons? And he's very happy to do that, and he won't even come and explain himself.
The committee believes that more than sufficient evidence exists for a criminal referral of former President Trump for assisting or aiding and comforting those at the Capitol who engaged in a violent attack on the United States. Nothing could be a greater betrayal of this duty than to assist in insurrection against the constitutional order.
President Trump and his allies not only spread medical disinformation about quack medical cures like hydroxychloroquine and injecting yourself with bleach, but they lied to the American people very explicitly for their own political benefit. And if Donald Trump's apologists are really worried about plummeting confidence in government and in public health, they should look at the lies and the serial manipulation of the facts that were engineered by Donald Trump and his administration in their spectacularly failed response to COVID-19. I was watching President Trump's town hall meeting on CNN last week, and I saw two remarkable things that clarified in my mind what's happening here.
Could kill the baby in the 9th month or after the baby was born. Did finish the wall. If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours. Get boxes sent to Chinatown, where they don't speak even English in that Chinatown we're talking about.
First, I saw Donald Trump blame Vice President Pence for failing to steal the election for him on January 6th. As Trump emphasized on January 6th, he believed, and he continues to believe, that Pence did not have, quote, the courage to do what needed to be done. Moreover, Trump assured his cult followers that Pence was never in any danger from the invading mob chanting "Hang Mike Pence," and all the violence was Pence's own fault for not succumbing to Trump and becoming the first vice president in our history to step outside of his constitutional role and declare the president the winner against the actual electoral college vote. But we also saw Trump castigate and blame Jean Carroll, the woman he sexually abused in a department store and later lied about and defamed. Trump called her a whack job and asked what kind of woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room. You see, he thinks it's her fault that he sexually abused her. And watching these two glaring cases of the GOP frontrunner for the presidential nomination in 2024 blaming the victim for his crime made me see what's happening with these hearings on Washington. They're part of an effort to deny Americans who live in Washington the right to participate in representative government, and then to blame them for their own disenfranchisement and their own lack of representation in Congress. In October of 2022, the Select Subcommittee on the Coronavirus, led by Chairman Clyburn, which I served on, uncovered a deliberate campaign by the then leader of the free world, former President Trump, and his associates to distort and politicize the CDC's COVID-19 public health response before the 2020 presidential election. This disinformation strategy is best described by Trump's own political appointees. President Trump's COVID-19 coordinator, Dr. Deborah Birx, who has famously told America that the Trump administration could have prevented hundreds of thousands of deaths from COVID had it acted effectively to address the epidemic, stated that Dr. Scott Atlas, another Trump appointee, quote, was overtly mixing public health with politics by advocating the idea that case identification is bad for the president's reelection. Dr. Paul Alexander, a Trump appointee, former senior policy advisor in CDC's Office of Public Affairs, said this: here's the issue. If the communication is left with just the statement that minority groups, sick, are at higher risk than on its face, this is very accurate. However, in this election cycle, that is the kind of statement coming from CDC that the media and Democrat antagonists will use against the president. Each time we talk about these deaths, we need to tell the nation why these deaths happened. This was due to decades of Democrat neglect. In discussing the importance of getting accurate scientific information about COVID out to the people from CDC, Dr. Martin Setron, director of the Division of Global Migration and Quarantine, told the Senate, the Select Subcommittee during a transcribed interview, quote, There are people no longer with us that would have benefited from that kind of very clear messaging.